Training aids are powerful tools for creating change and improving skill. They change how swimmers swim, and we can use that change to facilitate improved skills. One of the most effective and underutilized training aids is the weight belt. It facilitates a powerful technical stimulus that can't be recreated in any other way. Hi everyone, Andrew here, helping you help your swimmers get faster. A swimmer's alignment can never be too good. The more they can move through the water with less resistance, the faster they're going to go and the less effort it's going to take in order to make that happen. While the basic skills of alignment can be relatively straightforward, taking alignment to the next level can be challenging. In this video, we're going to explore a strategy to do just that by using a weight belt. Horizontal alignment equals speed, and if swimmers don't have good horizontal alignment, it's going to be really difficult to swim fast, and it's going to be a lot more energy intensive. That means whatever speed they can create, they're not going to be able to sustain. Poor horizontal alignment often starts with swimming at an incline. The head's up, the hips are down, and it's like swimming with a parachute. The legs are dragging in the water, the hips are dragging in the water, and that's creating a ton of resistance. Now, swimmers can compensate to some extent by really driving the legs to get the hips back up, but the challenge with that is that the legs require a lot of energy, they use a lot of oxygen, and so there's a huge cost to reestablishing alignment only with the legs. So even if swimmers have good alignment, they may be achieving that alignment with a strategy that's not particularly effective. Horizontal alignment can also be compromised with excess up and down motion. You see this occasionally with freestyle and backstroke, but you definitely see it with butterfly and breaststroke where there's already an up and down motion in the stroke. Swimmers are just traveling more distance than they need to. It's just wasted energy. And not only that, but more up and down motion creates more resistance, which means less speed. And the more range of motion swimmers need to move through to complete a stroke cycle, the longer that stroke cycle is going to take, the slower the stroke rates are going to be. And that's going to mean less speed because they're not creating more length by having a slower stroke rate. They're just covering more up and down distance. So it's taking more time for less propulsion, which means less speed. Horizontal alignment matters, and it matters a whole lot. Well, what are some of the challenges with improving horizontal alignment? Well, small changes equal big differences. So if alignment's off by just a little bit, that can make a really big difference. And vice versa, if alignment gets a little bit better, that can make a really big difference as well. The problem with that is that these small changes can sometimes be really hard for swimmers to feel. It's really subtle. It's also dynamic. Swimmers aren't swimming through the water in a completely static position. They're rotating in freestyle and backstroke. They're going up and down in butterfly and breaststroke. So horizontal alignment isn't necessarily a static position. It's a dynamic one that needs to be constantly managed and constantly maintained. As swimmers are moving through those up and down motion or those rotational motions, they have to manage their alignment throughout that entire process, and small errors add up to losses of speed. And because they're so small and because they happen so fast, because again, all those positions are transitory, it can be a real challenge for swimmers to feel those mistakes. And if they can't feel them, they're not going to be able to fix them. Another challenge is that swimmers get tired. And so as they get more tired, it becomes more and more difficult to execute their skills. It also makes it more and more difficult to feel what's happening because they're getting a whole lot more sensation over their whole body. All that fatigue is screaming at them. They're less able to feel those losses of alignment, those losses of positions. And it's certainly possible to manage fatigue, but it requires fitness and it requires skill to be aware of what's happening and to be able to control what's happening even as swimmers become less and less able to act on what they want because they're getting tired. Big challenges in terms of managing fatigue and the sensory awareness that's necessary to improve these skills. And for those reasons, I like weight belts because they help to solve those problems. Weight belts create an added challenge. It's a lot more difficult for swimmers to hold their position. And so while they might not have been aware of those challenges earlier because they couldn't feel them, the weight belt is going to highlight them because it's going to pull them out of position even more when they rotate or when they undulate. They're going to have to manage that. And if they can learn to manage that, they're going to develop both skill and fitness. And because it's a more difficult situation, that's going to challenge them to improve their skills and their fitness because there's definitely a physical element to controlling the weight belt. And then they're going to have the skill and they're going to have the fitness to actually maintain that skill when they get more fatigued. It also is really effective for improving sensory awareness. Swimmers can learn to feel how the hips are moving. That extra weight's going to be moving a little bit more. They're going to feel that extra mass move in their body, whether they're rotating or undulating. And if they're more aware of it, they can start to control it. They can start to fight it. If they can learn to fight it, they can start to improve their alignment and their position. Finally, it creates contrast. A lot of the magic happens when the weight belt comes off. all of a sudden they're going to feel light and fast. They're going to feel like they're sliding right through, and they're going to be more aware of the resistance they're creating as they move through the water, whether that's statically or whether it's from a rotational standpoint or an up and down undulation standpoint. That's going to give them better feel for great position, and that's going to further improve their awareness, further improve their ability to change. And as they get tired, if they have a better feel of what they're doing, they're going to be able to control that even more, even if they start to lose the ability to manage their position. So how do you make weight belts even more effective? First, don't just have them swim back and forth. Ask for performance. Use different stroke rates, different speeds, different stroke counts, different combinations of all three. Challenge them to perform with the weight belt. They're going to have to find better ways of executing whatever you're having them do, and they're going to have to do that with the added challenge of the weight belt. Use weight belts with alignment drills. So those same drills that already challenge alignment, make them even more difficult by having the weight belt on. It magnifies the impact of these drills because they're putting swimmers' skills under pressure, and now we turn that pressure up with the added resistance. You can also add more and more fatigue. You're going to help swimmers develop the physical strength to hold positions, to hold posture under pressure, and that'll make it that much easier to do so when they don't have the weight belt. You'll also help them learn to develop the skill to hold those positions under pressure. So the added strength may delay fatigue, but once fatigue actually happens, swimmers are going to be more skilled, more equipped in order to manage their position under pressure. So just like with any other skill development strategy, you got to train it if you want to get the most benefits out of it. So we'll take a look at 3 different sets here using weight belts to help swimmers improve their alignment. First one up is 3 rounds through. They're going to go 250s flutter kick with a snorkel and a weight belt. Number 2 is faster, and then they're going to go 100 freestyle, same stroke count each 50. They got to try to be consistent with the count. So we're going to challenge their alignment a little bit on those 50s, and then they got to be efficient on the 100. Then we're going to go the same thing, but now they're going to swim with a snorkel, and then we'll go another 100. They got to go faster, and then we're going to swim without the snorkel, and then they're going to go another 100, try to go faster. And so the goal here is to put those skills under a little bit of pressure, and then let swimmers learn to manage their position, create some speed, but be efficient on the second half of each swim. Next set is going to be 6 rounds through. They're going to go 425s butterfly with a weight belt. We're going to work on managing alignment through the breath with the weight belt. First one's no air. Second one, they breathe every 3. Third one, they breathe every 2. Fourth one, they breathe every 1. And the goal is to maintain the same alignment, the same position, no matter how often or how many breaths they take. Then they're going to go 50 butterfly without the weight belt, see if they can put it together, swim with really great alignment. Last set, they're going to go 4 rounds through. They're going to go 450s. The first 3 with a weight belt. The first one's breathe every other stroke, then head up every other stroke, and then regular. The last one, they're going to go the same stroke count each 50 by round, and they're going to try to go faster on all 4 of those 50s. So the challenge with the weight belt is they've got to maintain their body line, they've got to maintain their alignment with the breaststroke, and they've got to do that with different head positions on the first 2, and then during regular breaststroke on the last one. So a great way to challenge skills, challenge alignment in different ways with the weight belt in a way that wouldn't be possible otherwise. If you want to learn more about the critical skills of alignment in all the strokes, check out the video below.